then use some of this here. So come, so you can see better. Just move around, it's okay, right? The whole thing is to see better, not to be back up. Okay. And again, like I said, I'm not dictating terms. I just want you to try a few things, and maybe what you'll learn is how to adjust your body mechanics and add a few techniques, right? So in general loosening, we have upper trapezius. So some nice muscle stripping. If you feel for the spine of the scapula, right above that is supraspinatus, which is really, really key in loosening the shoulder. So it's a small tubular muscle just superior to the spine of the scapula. So this is stripping the muscle, so encouraging some length. And I like doing this from the other side so you can lean in. And then this is cross fiber, going across it. Right? Is that okay, Rhoda? This is really good for the shoulder and releasing the tension. So just knowing a simple bony landmark, the spine of the scapula, immediately above it, cross fiber, you'll feel that tubular muscle, that's supraspinatus. And it comes out all the way to the attachment of the acromion process. So nice. And then what's here is then the upper trapezius, but also rhomboids. So to address rhomboids nicely, you can do circular friction, you can do muscle stripping, just to loosen that up a little bit. And then if you come above here, the attachment of levator just above the superior angle of the scapula. And this is very key. So if you just feel for the bone of the superior angle of the scapula, just feel that. And go right above it and sink in. You're going right into the attachment of levator. And the levator comes and attaches right on the transverse processes of the cervical vertebrae and the neck. So this helps loosen the neck a little bit. Coming to the infraspinatus muscle, so this muscle on the back here of the scapula. So it fills this whole quadrant here. So if you feel for the vertebral border, and we can do that by just doing some simple Ruby. What's going on here? Just outlining the scapula here. You get a sense of the vertebral border. And then here's the distal angle. Okay, and then here it comes up. So the infraspinatus sits on the back of the scapula, so you can feel for the bone of the scapula. Come over here if you can, so you can see. So here's the vertebral border of the scapula, the bone. And if you come right above it, you'll feel the lateral border of the infraspinatus. And this you want to address. Coming down is great, all this, all good. But to get the lateral border, because this is where the fascia gets bound up onto the scapula. So you feel for the bone of the scapula and you come just above it, and you'll feel the border here. Little, how's that one right there?
It's pretty tender.
Yeah, pretty tender. Doesn't get worked a lot either. Infraspinatus, very, very good. So you come up and you work that lateral border. Working the muscles this way springs the scapula off the rib cage a little bit more, so it has more movement. So this is a good thing to do, right? Also to here, teres muscle, okay? One of the rotator cuff muscles. So how you find it is by using the crease of the armpit. So here's the crease of the armpit, and you come right above it, about a thumb width, and you go in at like a 45-degree angle, and you'll feel the muscle. You feel it? You can't miss it. And teres is key, again, because it's one of the sits muscles in addressing a better range of motion here. So there's a lot of different ways of doing teres muscle. Because it's a short angular muscle, it responds well to sustained pressure. So you can come in, and again, note body posture, and also a straight arm, so that your weight comes through. If your arm's bent, you're using your muscle a lot. Here, straight arm, so that I can use my body weight. Now I'm just using her arm as a lever to get in there a little bit more. That's okay, Lou? Okay. So same over here. So again, some muscle stripping. Again, encouraging length. Here's the spine of the scapula. So this is the supraspinatus. So I'm doing muscle stripping. And then I'm going to do some cross fiber because the muscle is running this way. So this is cross fiber. And to take pressure off your palm of your pad of your thumb, which is called the thenar eminence here, and that's where a lot of tension gets when we're doing this, is you could work more with a braced thumb when you can. So here's the spine, and I'm going to do a braced thumb to keep my hands flat so it takes the tension off my hand. And I'm just going to do some cross fiber this way. And addressing the musculature between the spinous processes of the upper thoracic and the vertebral border. You know, when you're encouraging length here, what do you think of as muscle fiber direction, hopefully? Right? So there's more at a 45-degree angle, both the pec minor and the pec major. So you just do that 45-degree angle and you'll know that you're encouraging some looseness in the rhomboids, and they come down and attach just above the inferior angle of the scapula. So nice, you know. Coming in and adjusting this upper trapezius. Some muscle stripping. Coming up underneath the occipital ridge, doing some pressure point work right up underneath the occipital ridge. Infraspinatus. And I'll talk you through this too. So that I'll talk you through it, but I want to just show you what it looks like first. So we're dealing with infraspinatus here. And one thing about, if you remember how the muscle of the infraspinatus goes, it's got two distinct fiber directions. So coming up from the distal angle up this way, they're like this. And then just below this spine of the scapula, they're coming across this way. So to be specific, along with whatever general loosening you do, and you can do all sorts of things here to encourage length in the infraspinatus. So again, I just know scapula, and here's the muscle. So I'm using the flat of my fist just to go in and engage the muscle. And again, easy, straight arm, flat fist, leaning in with my body weight and just letting it come out to from medial to lateral to encourage a little length. But also, like on the other side, feeling for the scapula and then coming up and getting that lateral border. See, I just adjusted my body posture because talking to you all about body posture, and I'm like, what am I standing this way for? Open up, and that's what happens. We catch ourselves all the time. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna have good body mechanics now, boom. I wish it was that easy. But it's constantly keeping our awareness about, we have to check our body mechanics. We have to think about, here's another factor, how we're breathing. Well, I'm assuming I am, but how does your breath help you with your massage? You know, does your breath make you, if you're not breathing properly, or you're going to get tired. If you're not breathing properly, you're going to work harder than you have to. Because what happens is your breath gets short, you're taking shorter breaths, and you're all here. So where the breath is, that's where you're going to be coming from. So you start here. If you breathe deeper, you have more of a sense of using your whole body. You know, that's the premise in a lot of martial arts and things, is that they talk about breathing from the belly, so it utilizes your whole body, as opposed to just some isolated parts. Okay, nice, and then we'll just end with a little deeper work with the elbow. So I was watching y'all work, and again, different ways of doing it. It's not a judgment thing, I'm just going to show you one thing. So you'll come over here so you can see. So just to loosen this area up here. And again, I work with the premise of the trapezius being folded forward. So I'm always trying to encourage some looseness, but also some movement away from the tightness. So I'm just going to depress the shoulder a little bit, come in like this, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to follow the vertebral border of the scapula. So I'm just turning so that my elbow is engaging the vertebral border of the scapula. Because it's where the bone meets the muscle that the fascia binds the most. So anytime you can initiate some, that pressure's okay, right? Not too much? You want it to be too much?
Sure.
I thought so. Working the edge of the scapula. And here's one little simple thing. If you choose to do that, if it feels good for your body, and you're doing this, and you're engaging the vertebral border, how can you make it come in contact with that vertebral border even more? You can shift around, but also too you can turn your palm up a little bit because it rotates your arm and it makes the contact more direct. It turns the elbow right, you feel that a little bit more? Up underneath the vertebral border, just by a simple rotation, not by muscling it more. And then a little longer stroke down the center. So I'm just immediately lateral of the spinous process, right in lamina groove. And you know, as I'm blabbing this all, if something, you don't know what I'm talking about, ask, okay? God knows what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. But I want you all to understand, you know, if I'm trying to use some basic anatomical terms. If there's something I'm saying that you're not connecting with in the moment, just ask. It's okay. Same on this side. So again, I'm depressing the shoulder a little bit so I can come here and bring the upper trapezius back. And once I get the tissue engaged, my intention is to follow this border here. So what I'm going to do is shift around so I could lean into it more. And I want to keep this angle like this as opposed to this. Because if you get over your work more like this, you're going to put too much strain on your what do you call it? Shoulder joint. But also you're going to have to push, where if you open that angle up and take the ease off of it, you can use your body weight and lean. And that's the distinction with doing good engaged myofascial work with deep tissue, is that you're leaning in, not pushing. Pushing is too fatiguing. It's also a lot harder on your joints. So, and then also, too, making this more specific by simply turning this here and it rolls up underneath there a little bit more.
Can I just point out, Kyra, that his hand is open too, not balled up?
Maybe not your problem.
And you know, can I say something? That's all from love, right?
Oh,
It is.
Right.
Oh, okay, I'm just
She
making it
does.
clear. I know, we all know that. We all, even if we forget in a moment, it's all about love. It's just like, hey, right? So, and this last one here, I'm just going to come. So I'm just right in the lamina groove, checking my body posture, leaning in. Okay? So, again, just to shine some relevance on this. I know that you all have time restraints when you're working. Okay? And obviously, you probably couldn't fit all this in, especially if they're expecting it. Hold on. But if you just do this and feel how they feel individually, body mechanics wise, that you can pick and choose what you can use in a session, right? Because that's all up to you. And that's what makes your massage your massage. I mean, people show you this and that and this and that. It's like how you choose to put it together, what's relevant for that person. You know, it's got to be beneficial for them and you, right, to do it. And that's what makes a good massage. You can't strain your body just to make this person feel better. It's crazy. It's crazy. You don't do that. Don't do that. You got to take care of yourself first. So if you're working from good body mechanics, if you're conscious of your breath, if you're leaning in a good way, that's fine. And it'll inform your work. It'll make your work better for you and them, so, okay, easy enough.